Ordinary high school students, Nishimura and Rin were on their way to school until they were suddenly caught inside a mysterious magic circle. The next moment they woke up, the pair found themselves on an unknown grass plain. They walked around while wondering where they are until they get cornered by a ferocious horned horse. Then Nishimura decides to lure the monster and sacrifice himself, but a trio of magic-wielding adventurers come to their aid and kill it. After having a relaxing chat with the adventurers, Rin and Nishimura decide to become adventurers to make a living. Nishimura and Rin are escorted to the city of Aspire, where they attempt to register with the Adventurers Guild. However, when a measure of their magical ability is taken, the results are quite shocking. That the guildmaster sends Nishimura and Rin to Lemia, a master magician, and her elf apprentice Mura. After taking her own reading of Nishimura and Rin's magical capabilities, Lemia declares that they must become her apprentices. Lemia explains that Rin and especially Nishimura possess tremendous magical powers, and that they can become the most overpowered mages in the whole world. While Rin is identified as a quad magician capable of wielding all four of the principal magical elements, Nishimura is designated an even rarer unique magician, who can directly employ the power of the spirits who control those elemental forces, although his magical specialty remains unknown for now. Nishimura and Rin train under Rimia's guidance, where Rin manages to excel the magic fundamentals. Meanwhile, Nishimura struggles with controlling his own power and is about to give up until he hears a mysterious voice. The two graduate in a surprisingly short time and are then sent back to Aspire to become registered adventurers. But all the while, Nishimura keeps hearing a fleeting voice speaking to him every now and then. After completing their training, Nishimura and Rin have finally registered as E-rank adventurers. After working as low-rank adventurers for a time, Nishimura and Rin are entrusted with a mission to discover the cause of Aspire's rising shortage of food and other essential needs. In the bar they are assigned to investigate, it just turns out that the patrons merely skimmed their food from a caravan, which was already raided, but on their way back, Nishimura and Rin are attacked by a trio of female assassins. Overpowering one and sending the others running, they take their captive to the guild, where she has made an offer for her freedom. The next day, Mura takes them to the countryside to check on a delay of fruit deliveries related to the food shortage. They go on a round, where a high-class monster appears before them. They end up fighting several monsters, but they quickly begin to suspect Kasim, one of the fruit farmers they met, to be in league with the actual thieves. The following day, when they head out again, they come upon some small-time burglars stealing fruit, who are quickly handled with and captured, and then confront Kasim with their suspicions. Cornered, Kasim admits that he was in charge of the raids, and he and his partner Grammy attack the three. To defeat Nishimura, Kasim summons a frost elemental and augments it with his Crimson Pact magic, making it virtually unbeatable. But when he threatens to harm Rin and Mura, a wind spirit called Ariel, whose voice has been addressing him all the time, offers to lend Nishimura her power, which he accepts. His abilities vastly boosted by Ariel, Nishimura destroys the elemental and severs Kasim's arm as he and Grammy make their escape. However, the use of his power drains him down, and he collapses into unconsciousness. Somewhere in town, a young woman begins torturing someone for information, while a pair of young twin magicians feed a huge number of pods in a subterranean chamber with magical power. Nishimura wakes up and finds himself back in Lemia's hut, where Rin and Mura took him after his collapse. After learning of his battle with the Crimson Magicians, Lemia identifies Nishimura's specialty as a summoner, who can bond with elemental spirits and directly employ their enormous powers. Afterwards, returning to Aspire to rejoin Rin and Muller, Nishimura wanders around town searching for them, until stumbling upon a familiar girl in trouble. He rescued the young lady, to his surprise. She is the assassin he and Rin captured, now a guild member investigating the cause of the food shortage. Teaming up, they infiltrate a manor in the city, which is suspected to be the center of this operation, only to discover a scheme to unleash an army of Crimson Pact-enhanced monsters on Aspire. In the meantime, Rin and Muller are attacked by Grammy and her forces, who are able to capture Mura. Furious at the enemy's sneaky methods, Rin dashed rushing to save Mura, which she does very quickly. At that moment, a strange man appears, who introduces him as the mastermind of the impending invasion by horde of monsters. Rin and Mura return to the guild house and spread the alarm about the incoming invasion. Lemia joins the fight. Beneath the undergrounds of Aspire, Nishimura and Anastasia battle their way into the mansion's cellar, where the twin magicians Milu and Milo, the Crimson-enhanced goblins, they've been breeding at them. Then they release the goblins. However, they quickly lose control over their goblins, prompting Nishimura to rescue them. Meanwhile, as the adventurers get ready for the upcoming battle according to the guild master's request, and Rin suggests a reasonable plan. As dawn arrives, Rin executes her master plan by summoning a massive explosion made up of 3 different elements, which weakens and slows the enemy, making it easier to attack. With that, the fight officially starts, with the adventurers killing monsters left and right. When victory seemed to be on the future, the red giant ogres put on a show to change the fight. Lemia and Rin tried to defeat the red giant ogres, but their attacks were not enough. Rin is almost completely crushed. However, that is the moment Nishimura arrives to save the day in a heroic entrance. When Nishimura shows up, everyone can relax because he manages to defeat several of the giant ogres that no one else could. Nishimura is able to defeat all of the giant ogres as the battle continues. The mystery man put Anastasia under a hypnotic charm and strays into the battlegrounds. To everyone's surprise, the fighting is joined by a two-headed dragon rising from the underground. Nishimura decides to go up against the dragon alone, but in between the dragon fight, Anastasia appears beside him and confused of how she got there. The dragon then releases a dragon's breath attack, aiming it at Nishimura, which ends up mortally wounding Anastasia in the process. As she dies in his arms, the enraged Nishimura asks Ariel for more power, a wish which formally seals the pact between him as a summoner and Ariel as his bonded spirit, and also enhances Nishimura's resolve to save all those he cares for. Facing the dragon, Nishimura beats it to the ground, whereupon the dragon withdraws, but not without providing him with a cryptic warning that a certain person wishes to use Nishimura's power to control the fate of this world. After mourning Anastasia's death, Nishimura, Rin, Lemia and Mura receive a summons to Wenifix, the capital of Aristine, to help King Gilmer in putting an end to the rebellion started by Duke Dordesheim, his younger brother. Once they get at Wenifix, they quickly see how bad things are becoming, and proceed directly to the castle. Upon meeting the king, Lemia confronts him with the suspicion that he is responsible for Nishimura and Rin's displacement into this world, which Gilmer confirms. His daughter, Princess Charlotte, performed the summoning upon her father's command, but unfortunately is unable to bring Nishimura and Rin back to Earth for now, but she promised to return them to their world at all costs. Upon learning of the arrival of Nishimura and Rin, who are almost legendary for their skill in Aspire, Duke Dordesheim decides to expedite his plan to take the throne. An assassin is sent to eliminate them. War appears inevitable as rebel troop movement becomes more aggressive. Lamia and the others are briefed on the battle strategy, which they do not understand at all. Nishimura and Rain get more concerned, as they learn they would be killing actual humans this time around, and feel uncertain, but they decide to keep an eye on each other. Later that night, the assassins enter the room, but their attempt to kill failed, because Nishimura and his friends notice his presence and prepare an ambush, making the attempt on their life unsuccessful. The next day, Marquis Nilgan, one of Duke's allies, leads the first attack with a surprisingly small force, but their plan is unveiled when they employ powerful magic rings to bombard the royal defenders with far-range attacks. Combining their powers, Nishimura, Rin, Ariel and the court magicians take out the attackers with a lightning strike which leaves them all paralyzed. Sparing their lives, Nilgan is assassinated by Inimicus, Duke's advisor, for his failure. Nishimura and the others receive some new weaponry from the royal treasury in appreciation for their significant contributions to the war, allowing them to perform even better in the upcoming war. While looking for a stomach cure after overeating at the victory feast, Nishimura learns that everyone in the town looks up to him and relies on him. At that point, Nishimura runs into Kasim, who coerces him into a duel. To even the odds and determine which one of them is more skilled, Kasim uses a magical statue given to him by Lauder to block the bulk of Nishimura's powers. Remembering Lemia's training, Nishimura defeats his opponent, but to everyone's shock, a dark spirit emerges from the statue to kill Nishimura. Working together, Nishimura, Kasim and Grammy destroy the statue, restoring Nishimura's power and allowing him to banish the spirit. Nishimura parts with Kasim and Grammy, who have gained a grudging respect for him. However, he hears commotion in the town and learns that the rebel army has officially declared war. The war for the crown begins, and the two armies clash on the battlefield. While Rin, Lemia and Mura fight alongside the king's soldiers, Nishimura and Ariel infiltrate Duke's base camp to try and convince him to end the rebellion peacefully, but he fails to succeed in doing so. That is when the rebel army's commander reveals his true colors, imbued with dark magic, and unleashes a spell, which turns the soldiers of both sides into zombie-like berserkers, who threaten to slaughter everyone in their path. The Bloody Rhapsody, the worst tragic battle of Altia's history, is about to repeat of what had occurred 200 years. The two opposing armies join forces to stand against the berserkers, but face impossible odds. Ready to do whatever he must to save his friends, Nishimura calls on Ariel's full power. Acknowledging Nishimura's willingness to sacrifice himself, Ariel gives up her current form, evolving into the Queen of the Wind Spirits, Sylphid, and enabling Nishimura to break the spell. He then combats Inimicus, the rebel army's commander, who is transformed into a demon by the dark power in him, and destroys him. But before that, Inimicus informs him of Lady Shade's intentions to use his powers to change this world. With the civil war ended, Duke is executed for treason, while Nishimura's group is amply rewarded for their service and returned to Aspire as heroes. Despite Inimicus' foreshadowing of future conflict, Nishimura strengthens his resolve to use his powers to protect his beloved friends. Thank you for watching till the end, and please don't forget to subscribe.